have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
Look, I'm under what? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before. What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
Так вот, не первый раз я вам говорю, что вы провалились.
Well, now for the first time I can tell you that you're a disaster.
So they said they were walking out the press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
And we can make sure that the technologies of the fourth industrial revolution are best utilized to provide us with better lives. In short, we need a great reset.
I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly. You're going to look so hot.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
Welcome, everyone. Today, I know I usually jump in straight away with my guest on screen, but I just wanted to quickly say today's guest is super special. I'm really excited to have her here. She's the kind of the inspiration for me to do this podcast in the first place. I owe easily the first 100 subscribers I have, which is more than half of this channel, to her. She's super kind. She's super graceful. And without further ado, I will introduce the mayor of comedy and podcasts, Chrissie Mayr. Where are we?
Oh my
We're on
goodness.
screen.
Wow, Daniel, that's the nicest thing. I don't think anyone has ever called me graceful, not even my elementary school ballet teacher. That is
Oh, really?
deal. Thank you.
I mean, I owe you a lot. You and Frank were so nice to me, especially back, with back in the whole E-Girl Eliza Blue drama days, and
God,
that's how
that was so many years ago at this point.
it feels like it. But it was actually this year. It was the beginning of this
Yeah.
year. So this year kind of got off to a crazy start with that whole thing, and I didn't have a podcast then. And for ages I'd wanted to do one, but that's not what I was thinking of doing. Like at that time, I was just my phone was exploding with all of the drama, and I just felt like saying something. But it was you and Frank that sort of were the when she blocked you. It was sort of like that's when I decided I was going to say something, because that was when it was like this. That's when it clicked for me that something was sort of really wrong, and I sort of woke up to all the stuff that was happening. But anyway, I won't make it about an Eliza Blue episode.
Let's do it. People love her still. They love hearing about her. I don't know. I can't wait for her next rebranding. Who knows what she'll be next.
She seems to have just disappeared into nowhere. I mean, I don't know. She must be really brainstorming that one. But yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. How was Tampa? You've just arrived back, huh?
And you can't waste this gorgeous, whatever it is, Australian, New Zealand voice. You can't not be putting this on the internet. I know. I should know the
Thank you.
difference. I should know which one you are. You're Australian, right?
Yeah, Australian. I'm
Okay.
in Sydney. But because I knew who you were even before all of that stuff. But I've become more of a fan, obviously now.
Oh, thanks.
But
Really
the
sweet.
the thing is, I couldn't get your name because we don't say in Australia we say Mayor, and it's
Meh.
like Mayor. Yeah,
I like
I don't.
meh.
I've always struggled with the word. Like, I've always tried to say Meyer, Mayor, Mar, and it always comes out really
Mayor.
strange.
I guess it is
'Cause I
annoying to
can't.
say.
I've got a slightly different accent to the like most Australians.
Do you guys have mayors? Or do you call
Yeah,
them?
we've got mayors,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
but
there
they
you
call
go.
them mayor.
Mayors.
Like, yeah, it just sounds like an animal of some kind.
That's fine with
Um,
me. I'll be a meh.
Daniel Rude, hi Chrissy. Any crazy food cravings yet? I've heard
Not
some women get them
No,
right.
I'm blowing the whistle on pregnancy food cravings.
Yeah.
I think it's hogwash. I think it's something that women dream up and they go, "Oh, this is basically a thing that we keep saying," and through decades and decades, it's like, "Oh yeah, my cravings are so big." Yes, husband, boyfriend, I need you to go out at 2 AM and get me some Haagen-Dazs, when really it's like, I think the cravings exist so you can just have people do your bidding and see what they'll do for
Right.
you.
It's
I'm
just,
blowing the
I mean,
whistle.
obviously things get more difficult. That's not a question. I don't think it's controversial to say that. Like, but because you have lots of restrictions and stuff, right? Hey,
Yeah.
Carmen,
Oh, what's up,
I'd like to
Carmen?
speak, Carmen. She left this comment, I think, before we went live. But yeah, she's so sweet. She was one of my first guests.
Carmen's
So
the coolest. The hardest thing
yeah,
about being pregnant for me is watching caffeine because you're only supposed to have 200 milligrams a day, and that's basically 2
yeah.
small cups of coffee, and I was used to having it from the minute I woke up to the
Oh, so
minute I
you
went
could
to
still
sleep.
have some.
You can have a little, yeah, and I've had more tea because tea has basically half the caffeine of coffee, and, like, sometimes a chai latte, sometimes a decaf
I love
coffee.
chai
You
latte.
gotta just, like, mix it up. That's been harder to me than not drinking, although I was out with my friend Keanu last night, and she had, like a spiked seltzer, like a neutral, and it was a lemonade flavor. I said, "Can I just smell your drink?"
But
So
it wasn't a White Claw?
I've been s no, this one place did not have White Claws. I know, she had to make
Oh.
do. I am sometimes smelling drinks,
This
and,
is the other thing,
yeah.
like, about your show, right? You've built something so special there, and I kind of not that I'm, like, trying to model mine exactly after yours or anything, but you make it look so I mean this as a compliment. I hope sounds as a compliment. You make it look so easy and, like,
Um,
enjoyable, and just you have all of the coolest people on there, and you have this way of, finding just people from all sorts of like, you have, like, political people on there, comedians, and just new and upcomers, like, I would never have discovered I probably would have discovered them anyway because 'cause they're, like, up and coming. They're great on their own merit, but, you're the place that I discovered Lila Hart and,
oh,
Keanu
I love
Thompson
Lila. Yeah.
and so many other people, like, and I love even, like, not just comedians, like, even people like Leanne Starr and Carmen Studer, and there's, like, 50 people I can think of, and this is another thing that was great thing, like you say, Eliza Blue's whole reason for existing was kind of just to connect people. Hey, Fealty, how are you, buddy?
Fealty.
I've had Fealty on here as well.
Wow. Okay, I have to watch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So, you're welcome to jump on if you want, Fealty. I can send you the
Fealty.
link. Fealty thoughts.
I
How
really
do you mean that?
appreciate that, because a lot of days you feel like you just read the negative comments and you're like, "Oh, I suck," and, I'm
Do you get the negative comments? I mean, you would now
Yes,
because you're like
constantly.
I mean, like, this is the thing with you. I mean, even I have, like, 5 viewers on things. I know there's a few more these days, but, like, I'm a nobody, and even still, I reckon there must be like a bot that goes around and just dislikes videos, like, automatically, you know
Probably.
what I mean?
Sometimes
Because
people
there's
are
always
bots, basically. I have people on here wishing that my unborn child is going to have Down syndrome. Okay, like the people that I used to be somewhat friendly with. It's the all of the sewer of the internet seems to, and a lot of people start giving you advice when you're pregnant. They're like, "Oh, you're
Oh, I
working
bet.
out. You're working out too much." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Internet stranger? How many times a week am I working out? What am I doing? How do you see one video and you're like, "Oh, that's too much." It's like, "Have you even been pregnant? Do you even know what the fuck you're talking about?" "Oh, no, you don't." Okay. And
Yeah, or it's just
it's
like,
a
I
lot.
mean, it would be different. It's because it's different for every woman, right? Is it not? Like I've heard so many different experiences like about pregnancy that I don't know how you could sort of give one fit all advice for it.
It's true. I know. I think it's fun to say, like, I'm blowing the whistle on pregnancy cravings, but I'm sure people have them, and I think they come as a result from you not, like, having proper nutrition to begin with. So it's like, if you're
Yeah,
craving chocolate, you have an iron deficiency. If you're craving,
right.
like, fried chicken or something, it's like, alright, you probably need more salt, and you but, like, if you're eating enough protein, and I learned this from doing keto/carnivore for, like, the last better part of 2 years, if you're eating enough protein, like, you probably are not gonna have very many cravings.
Yeah, right. So you do you do the carnivore diet? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I could easily do it, and like, I think I accidentally do it because I just get so lazy and never buy anything other than like, chicken counts?
It's so
It's
easy to do, even like a messy keto, which was like I would do like some kind of egg, like my typical day, like me trying to fit into my wedding dress. I would like wake up, go work out, go to like Starbucks or Dunkin' and get the egg bites and like a coffee with cream or something like that. Like go simple on the coffee. You gotta cut the sugars. But you could just hard
yeah,
boil up a bunch of eggs if you want, like eat a ton of eggs, and then I would eat
I love
like
them.
a Greek yogurt with, like, low carb, low sugar, like the Oikos brand. Um, those were pretty filling. Just keep it high protein, like, low to no sugar as possible. Obviously, candy's out the door. Obviously, even really don't have much fruit at all. Have maybe blueberries or, some berries, but that's really it because a lot of fruit just has so much high sugar, and at the end of the day, losing weight is about sugar and carbs. So, um,
That's the thing with
yeah,
I love fruit, like, but I'm not someone that puts on weight anyway, so I really don't have to worry too much, although I'm getting older, so I'm starting to notice it more, like, 34 now, but,
that's not
it
older.
it's not old, but it's like from 30 onwards, you really start to even someone who like and I'm lucky, I've got a good metabolism, like, I don't put on weight, I've never been fat, but, you know Daniel Rood, I lost 120 pounds on the carnivore diet. Wow, congratulations,
Testify.
man. That's amazing. That's crazy.
Mhm.
I mean, I've heard amazing things about it, and I haven't done it on purpose. I'm still fat, but I'm not really fat anymore. Oh, no, the 120 pounds, man,
That's great.
what's that's that's a crazy amount, and that's excellent. That's great.
And sometimes
Uh,
it's easier for men to lose weight, like, you just stop drinking soda and you can drop 20, 30 pounds like nothing. Like, cutting out
yeah,
drinking
sometimes
helps big time.
it's just
Um,
the one thing. Like, sugar
that's
is
the main
total
thing.
cancer. And I guess that'd be one of the hardest things that you will how much do they restrict you on the sugar? Like, is there
They don't, which is crazy, and sometimes I, like, look down at my belly, I'm like, "Is there actually a baby in there, or is this just what happens when you start eating bread again?" Like,
I know people that, haven't shown like you have all the way up until, like, what is it, like 2 weeks out or no, that can't be it doesn't sound right. I
some
just
people don't
I
show till, like,
still
a month or 2 before, that's common. Well,
and even still when they do show, it's like, "Oh, we've got the same box."
Sorry,
All good.
my equipment sometimes loves to just jump off the desk. That's fun. Everything's just hanging
We've got the same box. Um,
out. So, what was I saying? They don't actually tell you. Your OBGYN should tell you if you're gaining too much weight too quickly, because if you this is why like obese women, it's if you want to have a kid and you're already like pretty fucking fat, you got to lose weight, because if you are like obese and pregnant, then you open yourself up to getting like gestational diabetes. Your baby's going to be a lot bigger, and if you deliver like a 10 plus pounder, that's going to be a much more difficult birth. You're probably going to have to do C-section. There's just a slew of other problems that come with delivering a bigger baby.
Yeah.
But you don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So that would be Fealty says, haha, wrong mic. Is it?
Story of my life.
I mean, I can hear you.
Yeah, it just unplugs
It does
itself
sound slightly
from time.
different.
It unplugs
Oh
itself
no,
from time to time.
there it is. I can hear you. You sound perfect now. Yeah, I mean, this is something obviously that I'm never gonna have to go through. So it's it's foreign to me, but it's interesting nonetheless. Hi, Cammy. I don't think I've seen you the postage and the packaging. The postage and the packaging. I'm not sure if I understand that.
Maybe
But
that's a
welcome
code.
to the show. I think it's a code. Should have
It's
seen
a
my
code.
mum when she was pregnant with twin siblings, big as a house. Well, twins. I mean, that's crazy. But I mean, the
Yeah.
thing is, that's the other thing. When you're as a baby, I know you've been doing the fun comparing to fruits and stuff. Like you've got, what are you at the
Yeah.
moment?
Oh my God, I haven't even checked.
Because
Uh,
like the thing is, when you're born, you're a certain weight, right? And some people are like massive when they're born, but they grow up to be tiny little people,
okay, so
or vice versa.
he's a grapefruit right now
A
as of
grapefruit.
Friday. Tell me, explain
Wow.
this to me, people in the medical field. Explain to me how he's going to go from a grapefruit today to a banana on Friday. How is this possible? Does that mean he's stretching out?
Oh, I guess that
Is
would
it
make
weight?
sense a bit. Yeah, grapefruit, because a grapefruit's a lot heavier than a banana, right? But
Yes.
it's
They're full of juice.
Daniel, clearly in this day and age, you could absolutely have a So yeah, because no, I don't think I count because I don't identify as queer, which is the new buzz term.
Mhm.
Men can have babies now. Delivering a baby. Yeah, well, okay, whatever. So the thing is, my show is oh, first of all, I'll finish getting to what I was gonna say. How was Tampa? How was the shows in Tampa?
Awesome. We did one show on Sunday, gosh, 2 days ago. So much fun. I deal with a lot of imposter syndrome, like a lot, a lot, a lot. I always feel like I'm a fraud, and it doesn't matter, like just short like a couple days ago, I was invited to join this Turning Point USA America First convention, which is like a big fucking deal to get invited to these things. And like sometimes they throw you free tickets, or it's like especially if it's a situation where you're not going 100% on your own dime. It's the biggest honor. It's the biggest deal. And even when I make these sort of like achievements, it really does nothing for your imposter syndrome. It just sort of like builds up. You're like, well, it's only a matter of time before people find out that I'm a fraud and I'm not that funny and I don't work that hard, or you always just feel like the ball's about to drop or something, or the shoe. I don't know what the phrases are, but you always just
It's
feel
so
like,
funny. It's so funny you say that because, like, I had because I feel nervous having like because I was so nervous about like you were one of the first people I wanted to invite on here, but I thought I can't invite her like as the first guest because I need to have some guests in place first. Otherwise, she's gonna think no way. And like I really appreciate because you're a big channel, right? And
oh,
and I'm probably not helping your imposter syndrome right now. I know
no,
exactly how
it
you
comes
feel
and
though.
goes.
Like
Yeah.
I know how you feel not on this in the podcast realm, but like in terms of where I've worked and stuff, because I've worked fairly I've earned good money as a design consultant, but I kind of started when I was really, really young, and I started earning really good money when I was really young, and I was going through a traineeship, but I was sort of breezing through it, and I just have never felt like I'd been qualified to be in the corporate world and stuff like that. So, but where I was going off track a little bit, I was going to say, I wanted to have you on my channel since the beginning, but I was like, I needed it to have it up to a certain standard before I was able to have you
But look
on.
at you. You got the legit microphone. You have good headphones.
Yeah.
You haven't knocked any of your equipment off your desk yet, like I have. Your background, it looks like you're in like a sexy massage parlor. I love that chair in the back. It looks like someone could get a happy ending in that thing. It's a great vibe. Your set is so nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It does look a bit like, and I noticed because I was actually on one of your members only streams, and you pointed out that it looks like the trans flag, which it totally does.
You just
Especially
need
with
like
me
a
in the
patch of
middle.
white in the middle. Yeah.
That's me. I'm the white patch in the middle. So it's kind of
Or it could be like
it's a
it's a gender reveal room.
gender. Yeah, yeah. But no, I might be gay, but I'm not into all of that. All of that shit is just, it drives me insane. I can't, I try not to mention it too often because it's the least interesting thing about me, but sometimes it is relevant to bring up. Daniel Rude, I'm so old. I remember when queer people were just odd and not perverts. Hell, we used to call all the old man down the road queer. He was super. Yeah. Queer never used to mean anything like, it was never one of these things. But that is the thing is about that word, right? I think it's an umbrella term to take anyone in, like take even heterosexual people in. He was super into trains. Is your trains?
Trains, not trans.
And dressed like an old timey conductor.
Yeah,
The Cosmic Show. Hey, buddy. Sorry.
Kooky.
Yeah.
Kooky person. I still believe it's very much the minority. It's just the establishment really got its meat hooks into it, and Big Pharma got its meat hooks into it because they're like, wow, we can make so much money off these surgeries and off
And they
these
do.
hormones. And the government is like, wow, this is just another way for us to get our meat hooks in to control kids, to eventually control these adults. Just like they're letting in so many illegal immigrants because like, ooh, these are people that we can easily control because they're going to feel like they owe us and they're going to
Right.
vote our party for the rest of their adult lives.
There's leaked footage of, I don't know if you've seen any of it. Oh, hey, Frank. It looks like Daniel is going for a synthwave out or invite. I was just trying to like balance the lighting because like when you don't have anything in the background, you get a lot of digital noise. Like it was hard to get right, but I finally got it so that I'm not there's not too many shadows and stuff.
I wonder if I can match my colors to you.
Thanks everyone for coming here in the chat. I appreciate it. I'm at a different time zone. What is queer? I'm racing through them too quick. I thought queer used to be a diss for gay people. I'm so confused about this world. Me too, Filthy. It's just it's all upside down now.
Query. Oh, look at that. I'm pink now.
Hey, now we're both
right.
trans.
Oh, give him a tune. I don't have my kalimba at arm's length, but I have my sound machine. Yeah, this is my it's my sound machine.
That's awesome. I've actually just recently started experimenting with like I'm trying to get together, and now no one's seen these yet, but I've got together a few little sound bites that I just thought they'd be handy. Like here's one.
First of all, you're very professional. Your intro is fire. It's very exciting. It's
great.
Really
Thank you.
good. Your intro is like not that of a baby podcast. Your intro is like very legit. I'm like, ooh,
wow.
Yeah. They talk, we're gonna get into conspiracies, we're gonna get into the World Economic Forum, we're gonna get into some like real shit, and then you have some fun like goofy outtakes too. It's really good, and your whole thing is very professional. Stateside Safari. At first I was picturing maybe a Steve Irwin situation where you'd be like wrestling exotic animals. It's great.
Yeah, no. The whole thing is like I appreciate that so much, and coming from you, I really, really appreciate that because it's I mean, there's so many little customization packages out there for like Twitch and stuff, but I'm not really a gamer at all. Although we are actually we are live right now on Twitch.
We're live on Twitch. Hello, Twitch.
Yeah, I'm pushing the boundaries there. Like the CEO's name is also Daniel Clancy, so it's awkward, but
I think you're just doing an undercover boss situation where you really are the CEO of Twitch and you're just pretending to be like, it's just, oh, I'm just starting out as a podcaster. Let's see what Twitch is like. Do you know?
Well, I don't really game. I haven't gamed for like 20 years or so, but I downloaded the Alex Jones game the other day, and I
I
clocked it
saw
about
that.
90
I
minutes.
saw a preview for that. It looks so cute.
It was so funny. It's just really funny. I wish they had more. I wish they had more levels to it though, because I got rid of it in like 90 minutes. Like I clocked it,
You
but
beat
I
the
have the
game?
little. Yeah. I beat every level. Have you been following the Red Heifers, Chrissy?
No, I've never heard of them unless this is some sort of insult.
No, it's not an insult. It's like it's a prophecy. It'd take me a while to go into it. Like the whole thing was, and I appreciate you going back to what you were saying with the intro. Like I did try and pack as much in there because I've made it myself, and
Oh my god,
I
that's
tried to put.
impressive.
Thank you, because there was nothing out there that I could find that was good for me, right? So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to do it myself. So I thought over time I'll replace some of those things with other stuff, but like I wanted to give a flavor of the sort of things that I'm interested in and want to go into. Generally, I'm still trying to find the blueprint of this channel. Like I don't exactly know where I'm only. This is episode 9, so
Oh yeah.
I'm so lucky to have you in my first 10. But you know,
After
like
100, you'll be like, I still don't even know what I'm doing.
yeah. Well, what I do is like I try and come up with the title and the topic, even though I know it's almost certainly not going to go that way. And that's cool. I don't need it to. But I do go and get like a whole list of links throughout the week of interesting stuff that I think will be kind of relevant. Today was kind of hard, really, because I thought I wanted to make it. I called this episode It's Funny Because It's True, because I love that saying, because that rings true to me. I think like I'm not a comedian. I'm not super funny, but I I do like to get into conspiracy. I have a great sense of humor and stuff. Like I love comedy, but what was I saying? Yeah, this thing's sort of
But
more like I go
think a
through.
lot you think a lot about what kind of an episode you're gonna do, but you have the flexibility, like, it might go off course a bit.
That's right. Yeah. And I'm usually the one that takes it off course because I just don't know where I'm going yet. Now I'm lost in. I've gone. There's so many comments here. Thank you,
I know,
everyone. I'm
and
just
I've
like,
like, the whole okay, keeping in the theme of it's funny because it's true. It's amazing how just in such a short time, my set on stage, like, talking about how, like, the Tampa show went. My set on stage now, like, is so completely different than just a couple years ago. Like, I talk about uh going from being a single person to being an engaged person to being married, to like the wedding planning process, I mean, I had jokes about like getting married in a Catholic church, and like the all the steps you have to do to qualify for that, and like, and then talking about now I have like jokes about being like pregnant, and it's like it's a whole different. I'm like, wow, do I have a wholesome set now? Like but it's good. Your set is supposed to change and develop as you
y-
move through life
y-
and have different experiences. And it's like you talk about what you know. This is what I'm going through. And it's like, and when I was single, I was talking about dating, and then but people go, "Oh, we don't want to hear about that." And it's like, well, now and for the people that, and I was never a comedian that would just talk about my vagina, because a lot of folks don't like that, and there have been a few
yeah,
female comics that are like that, and they give the rest of us a
like
bad name. Most people's template for female comedy is Amy Schumer, who hasn't really done much comedy in several years, but it's burned into everybody's brains that Amy Schumer is like the end all be all for female comedy. Most folks are not really actively seeking out female stand-up comics, so my
no,
least
because
favorite
there's
my least favorite backhanded compliment that I get all the time is, "I don't normally ever find women funny, but you're funny." That's not a compliment. That just tells me, like, you are relatively lazy with, how you seek out comedians, and not most people are not actively seeking out comedians. It's like, it's whatever comes up when they're scrolling. It's sort of, you leave it to the algorithm, but, I
it's
think that's a
interesting.
lame compliment.
Like I've certainly heard people say that like a lot, and I don't know if I won't comment necessarily on whether I think men are funnier than women. It's hard for me to say. What I will say is on your show that I've found so many hilarious women that like because Chrissie Mayr like not because I love the way that you've got it set up because you've got Chrissie Mayr podcast, but you've also got Simpcast, which is sort of slightly separate thing, which is like, and I love that Simpcast is mostly like hot women and every and I know you have some men on there sometimes, but it's usually just a whole bunch of women, and it's like it's obviously very popular for that. But they're hilarious. They're so funny. Like it's you start to wonder how women actually got this bad rap of
There are
not being
so many
funny.
funny women. Most funny women are not in stand-up because pursuing stand-up is such a lifestyle that is not attractive to most women. That yeah, there's probably funny women working in your office out there. Your female hairdresser is probably hilarious. Like
I
you're
mean, there
right.
definitely is.
There's funny women on OnlyFans that are, you know what I mean? It's just like not every woman. Like if you sit down a woman at like when did I get into this? 26. If you had sat me down and be like, look, it's gonna be like 12 years. It's gonna or like it's gonna be 10 years. If you sit most women down, go, you probably gonna start in your early 20s. Go ahead and just take 10 years out of your life that you're gonna be dedicated to this. You're not gonna be able to like really prioritize dating. If you do, it's gonna be just who's around you, who happens to be another comedian or people who happen to like comedy. Like I am so lucky and blessed that I met Frank because like if you're
You two are
really
perfect together.
thank you. If you're
Yeah, it's
really
cute.
going hard at comedy, like you're really gonna limit your options for the types of guys you're gonna meet. And if you're a woman who needs to date a high earner and you have really specific, you're not gonna want to go into comedy because those men are not in comedy. It's mostly a lot of other broke dudes doing stand up who don't have a biological clock, who don't care about starting a family, who like don't really care about getting married. And it's like and well now the thing is it's the industry is so different because you can blow up doing TikTok and then you can kind
Right.
of back your way into a stand-up career. You could blow up doing dance videos or makeup videos on TikTok or being and then they're like, "Oh, hey, you want to do an hour? You want to headline Yuck Yucks? Just figure out to do something on stage and we'll book you." Uh, a lot
Oh,
of
that's
people
how
get
Matt
into
Rife
comedy.
got into it,
That and
isn't it?
that's how Matt Rife got into it, which is it's always cool to see somebody not of the typical mainstream machine sort of like make it, but he's gonna be huge because he is gonna be like the next Pete Davidson. He's like
Right.
young, he's good looking. People are very interested in who he's dating already.
I didn't know
So
who he was 5 minutes ago, but now I hear about it. I hear his name
he had
every single day.
already my God, this was months ago. He sold out an entire global tour for 2024 in like just a few minutes. Like sold out all of next year's like unbelievable, ridiculous success already. And like and good for
Yeah.
him. And
There
but you
was a
already see
slight
people going, "Oh, he's not that funny. He sucks. Oh, like his material sucks." It's like those people are haters and they're
Yeah.
jealous.
There was a slight cancellation attempt the other day. I can't remember what it was about. It obviously didn't work.
Because yeah, he offended some folks with his jokes, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry if I offended you. Please click on this link for an apology." And it was a link to like retarded helmets or like mentally ill helmets or something. I'm like, "That's great. That's the perfect response."
Yeah. I mean, like, the one thing I was gonna say oh, well, I'll read this first. Chrissy is genuine and cool as
Aw,
hell. Yes, she is.
JR
Um,
or Junior. I still don't
I
know.
like them all except the dirt eating one. I don't know what that means. Most comedians suck, so of course most female comedians suck. People well, yeah, so you're just saying it's a game of numbers. Um, biggest compliment I could give you, Chrissy, is that your comedy doesn't wear thin after time. It's been my experience with most comedians, male or female. And
Oh,
Fealty
thank you,
says, those
Daniel.
girls should find themselves a fealty.
Oh,
Yes, they should.
fealty.
Fealty is single and ready to mingle.
He's ready to
Anyone with
mingle
that.
because if he doesn't find someone in 10 years, he has promised me that he will turn gay, and that will be his course of action.
We actually found what he looked like gay at 50, and when he was on my show, we found what he
What
looked
he's
like.
gonna look like?
Yeah, it's dead on as well.
What gay him would look like?
Yeah.
It's him
I
with a
might be able to
six-pack.
find it. No, it's got a luscious big dress on, and it's
Ooh.
gorgeous. Yeah, I'm curious how much leftist woke stuff has affected specifically the comedy club scene. We know the TV streaming stuff has heavy infiltrated, but are clubs safer because they're decentralized? Well, we know you had that famous moment where with the
The land
harpooned
whales.
whale. What's that?
There's different ways to answer that question. There's like how has the woke stuff affected the comedy club scene? Comedy is changing so much. It used like just social media has completely changed one's projection to fame or to a comedy career. Because like I said before, you could blow up on an app and then back end your way into a stand-up comedy career. And then the business has changed from like the comedy club booker standpoint. They have to be open to booking someone like a TikToker now because they got to put asses in the seats. They got to keep the lights on. It used to just be if you had potential and a booker at a comedy club like really believed in you, they'd give you a chance. It didn't matter. Now it's like you have to provide basically all your own following, do all your own promotion. Sometimes like if you're not selling as well, the club might throw out a few free tickets to help like fill the room a little bit, but largely you're not even going to get booked unless the booker is pretty darn sure that you can bring your own following and fill the majority of those seats with your people, especially what I did the other night on a Sunday, if you perform on like a Sunday or a Thursday or a random night at a club, like that's your people basically. Whereas on a weekend, Friday and Saturday night, like you have people that just want to go out that are like, let's just see whoever is playing at this club. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, you'd bring your fan base too, but it used to be you could get booked off talent alone. You could get booked on a late night comedy set, like a spot, like a Letterman or a Leno, off your talent and your potential alone. It didn't matter your following. It didn't matter like how many thirst traps you post. It didn't matter your likes. Didn't matter your
Now it's all about
the
metrics.
algorithm thought of you. It didn't matter if you had spicy
Yeah.
takes or your politics never mattered. It was just your talent. And you
There's
could
all
get
this
your late night
extra.
comedy spot. You could get booked on Just for Laughs in Montreal. You could get commercials. You would get booked on a sitcom if it was like the 90s. That would be the trajectory you'd get
That would be
plucked
like
for
the
an
ultimate
SNL.
dream, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
To get like your own sitcom, like obviously that's what Jerry Seinfeld had, that's what Roseanne had, although they took it off which was horrible. But she had a good run. Hey, Carmen is here. Hey,
Come
Carmen, nice
in.
to see you. I was gonna
So,
ask you.
to answer his question, how the woke has affected the comedy club scene, like the comedy club bookers still just have to book whoever is combination of like the best and can bring their own following. They're gonna just book who is going to sell the most tickets. I think a good club won't really ultimately care about your politics. Like they might have their own personal leanings and they might be in a city that is more red or more blue. But you're always going to have like your black night, your lesbian night, your themed like all lady night, because they're going to try out a bunch of things to pull in as many types of customers as possible. So like a
Right.
good club will try to mix it up and they will have those sort of like cringy diversity nights where they're like, ooh, come on out for urban night, and depending on the area, they'll have like more or less of those. But it ultimately comes down to like, can you bring people to the club?
I totally understand. Like, I mean, it just makes perfect business sense to want to cater to all the types of demographics. I do wonder though how strong the demand for woke stuff really is. There, like, you see a lot of this. Like Disney's now a signal to all of their investors that the ESG policies are no longer working for them, and they're wanting to like they've reversed course on the Snow White thing. What's happening with that?
I
Like,
think they are rebooking Snow White. I think they may be taking Rachel Zegler out and
are they?
recasting because
That would
they've
be
now
good.
pushed it back to a 2025 release. They
Oh, they
kept
have.
pushing back the date, pushing back the date. They'll blame it on the writer's strike, just like every other unsuccessful project will for the next year and a half. But it's just a result of like Hollywood being incredibly out of touch, and the blowback was insane from all of Zegler's appearances about Snow White. Like she really tanked it. She like went out of her way to sound like an asshole. So I really think they're recasting the role.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've lost billions of dollars over the last few years. It's craziness. And that Ziegler chick, she was really not likable at all.
And
Going back to
I
the
thought she was kind of good in Hunger Games, the most recent Hunger Games that came out. She was like
Oh, I haven't seen it.
kind of good in that.
Was she?
Yeah,
Because there's all these new actors. I don't know any of these names now because I'm not really a film guy. I
I know.
all
I only
all
know
of
because of FNT, and like we kind of have homework sometimes. Like we have films that we have to watch, and like so that's the only reason why I have even half a clue.
I've sort of recently got into like watching more older classics. Carmen introduced me to one or actually two great films that I should have. They were classics, and I should have. Like, have you seen Wag the Dog?
No, I know, but that's like a classic film.
It's so funny. I hadn't seen it, and I got hold of it, and it's just one of the funniest films I've ever seen. And can't remember the other ones you recommended to me, but I've been going through and watching a whole lot of old classic films. Because
Ooh.
just like a whole lot of stuff after 2010 was just shit. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna
Yeah,
ask
Hollywood is
you.
afraid to make this is a and there's the Daily Wire is getting so much shit right now for Lady Ballers, like, "Oh, it's transphobic. Oh, it's not funny. Oh," and the people who review first of all, the I used to
Have you
call them
seen
the
it
alph
yet?
the I haven't seen it yet. I used to call them the Alphabet Gang. Now I think I'm gonna call them the Wi-Fi Password Gang because I just read that today, and I was like, "That's actually fucking hilarious and so smart," because of, like,
Yeah.
hashtag exclamation point numbers, numbers. Um, the and people go, "Oh, well," of course, you have, like, the woke leftists that don't have a sense of humor to begin with going, "Oh, it wasn't funny," or "It's not," and whether they've seen it or not, they've declared it's already not funny, but I could tell you so many, movies during, like, the sort of comedy heyday in Hollywood, like, during the 2010s era that I thought like, I think Adam Sandler is cringe. I don't find any of his like, I'm like, I'll sit
Same.
through an Adam Sandler." I liked him in, what was it? Uncut Gems? Is that it? I liked him in that, but there are many comedy movies
I
that
haven't heard of that one.
I don't really like, and they don't really do
He's the
anything
same
for
in all
me.
of them.
But it's, like, good for the Daily Wire for trying because they're filling a hole right now. Hollywood has nothing cooking in terms of comedy. They have nothing going on. They're afraid to make a comedy film. So if the Lady Ballers on Daily Wire is not your cup of tea, like, so what? It's just like every other comedy movie. Not everyone's gonna like it, but the point is that you keep trying and you make a bunch of stuff so that there's something for everybody.
Well, they're scooping up like Daily Wire seems to be scooping up whatever Hollywood won't take on now. Because, like you say, they're
Yeah,
scared. They're scared
good
to
for
make
them.
anything decent anymore. And so like they did Lady Ballers. I've been planning to get it, but I haven't got the Daily Wire subscription. I need to sign up for that, so I should probably do that and then take a look at it because I saw the trailer on your show when you were watching it, and it did look really funny, but, like, I think as they grow, they're gonna get bigger and more talent on board because I worried that it's gonna be a little bit tiny bit dry because it's Daily Wire, but, it's gonna be so much better than anything that's out there right now, and,
And they
clearly
probably
that
figured oh, sorry, I keep interrupting you. My
No,
god,
no,
my
you're
where
fine.
are
Go
my
ahead.
manners?
No,
I saw
I do it all the time.
I saw Matt Walsh like, "Oh, you know, well, we couldn't really we didn't think we could get anybody to do this." And I'm like, "Yeah, I remember you asking me." No, but I'm like, I'm so glad they got Tyler Fisher. And I think they maybe if it is a little bit insular, it's like they probably thought, well, it's a lot easier to just do it with our staff, the people who are already working for us, who already do have on camera experience than to go out and be
Right.
like, hit up a bunch of people, see if they get back, figure out, it's probably easier to pay the people that they already work with. So,
I think
like,
Matt
probably
Walsh would have been great in it.
I
I mean,
think
I
he
haven't
was
seen
in
it.
it. I think he has a bit
Yeah.
part in it.
He's a from the trailer, I can see that he's like a non-binary, like
Oh,
he's
yeah?
got
That's great.
and he's got yeah, it's hilarious. Daniel Rood says, "Both of you, what is the greatest movie ever made?" Oh shit,
Oh,
I
boy.
don't know how to answer that. And why is it the original Red
I
Dawn?
haven't seen
But
Red Dawn. I'll tell you
neither.
the greatest movie I've seen this year, which is Godzilla Minus One. So, so good. Everyone should go see it. It's a really great
Really?
story. Really great grounded characters. You forget it's a Godzilla movie because you're so invested in these characters and their stories and like everything is like slow and real, and you really believe where all the characters are coming from with all their different storylines, and there's a love story in there. Like Godzilla is actually so frightening, and you're like genuinely scared, and you really don't want these characters to die because you truly care about them. It's so good. Yes, the
That's
Star Wars
interesting.
holiday special is the best. That changing my answer. That is the best movie ever made.
Star Wars holiday special. Um,
It's very bad. It's very cringe. Don't ever watch it.
I've never been into Star Wars. I've never been a Star Wars guy. The closest I ever got to that, and this isn't even close at all. But I used to watch a little bit of Doctor Who, but that's
Oh,
about it.
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. But I was gonna ask you before. I think we sort of went off the thing, but I did want to ask you: have you been to all 50 states? And if so, which one?
Ooh.
And it doesn't matter if you haven't been to all, but which one would you say is the one with the best sense of humor? Or
Ooh.
should I not ask you that?
I definitely have not been to all 50 states. I love Florida and Texas. Like, I would say generally I don't really have a bad show in either state, I find.
I love
But,
to
like,
hear that because
I also would not use that as an excuse, like, just because, and I live in New York, so I don't think, because I feel like America is America. You're gonna have maybe a similar type audience in like in LA and in New York City, but other than that, like the whole country is more or less pretty much on the same page and like and similar. So it's your
interesting.
it's your job no
I
matter where you are, what city you're in, is to make this particular group of people laugh. Okay, so they're more liberal, so they're more vaccinated. It's still your job to make them all, you have to charm them still and entertain these people for an hour just the same, so figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. I love to hear that you say Texas and Florida are your favorite because these are the two places that I always have pictured my if I moved there one day, which I'd love to do. Um, those are the two areas that I've always thought about going to. But I mean, I think Florida might be really too expensive for me.
People are liking Nashville too, or, Tennessee.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Tennessee. I don't like Daily Wire in general. Matt Walsh is a dribbling moron. Really? Shapiro is generally okay. Really? That's interesting. I have the opposite. Like, I think Shapiro's the moron and Matt Walsh is the okay one. But that's
Mm.
fair enough. But Shapiro is generally okay, but a war hawk. That's true. Candace is fake, but I fully support their foray into entertainment. Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough, man. And like, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I know they have their like religious. Yeah, I know Carmen's in Texas. Um,
Yeah.
she she's in like Dallas or something, isn't she?
Yes, actually, Carmen, I'm gonna be headlining, Hyenas in Dallas on January 25th, so I'll be back in your neck of the woods. Yeah, that's what happens. It's like overall, I think the Daily Wire is absolutely a net good when you just think about, okay, it's a force. It's a force in media and journalism that is not decidedly leftist.
Yeah,
And
you
of
need a
course,
counterweight.
the more closely you follow someone like a Candace Owens or Matt Walsh or Ben Shapiro, like over time, you're gonna find stuff you don't like, just like with anybody else that you follow closely. But overall, like I kind of like pick and choose. Like I have a Daily Wire subscription, but I'm not like watching every single thing all of these guys do. So I don't have strong, really opinions on any of them. I'll just like, all right, I like this project. All right, I really liked What Is a Woman that Matt Walsh did. All right, I will occasionally, if
Yeah.
I have a long drive in the car, I'll throw on a Ben Shapiro podcast or a Jordan Peterson podcast, and I'll just be like, uh, and I think Daily Wire is the most useful. Like every single day I listen, they have like a 10 to 15 minute thing called Morning Wire, where it's just like the top stories of the day. Makes me feel like such an adult. I'm like, it really sets me up for my day. Basically, because I know I have 15 minutes like in the shower or
Yeah.
getting ready or whenever to just like listen to some news. And then I go, okay, this is what's popping today. All right, now I'm not a total retard for the day.
Daniel says, any plans for a show in Iowa?
Ooh, I have never thought of Iowa, but tell me what clubs you like out there, what the vibe is.
Um, I've been to all but 8 states.
Wow.
You've been. I'd love to. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever make it to all 50, but like, I'd love to try. There's a couple that are just scare me now, and I just wouldn't want to hang around in too long anymore. And it's really sad because, obviously, when as a tourist, as a foreigner, you want to go and see New York's and LA, but like, from everything that you see about them now, it's just like they look like hellscapes. And anyone you ask is just sort of like, yeah, no, it's not what it was. That's kind of sad.
If you're in a place where you're like, man, I've always wanted to see New York and now I can't, like, don't feel that way, because you can still come to New York City and have like a classic New York City tourist experience. Like, you can go see the Statue of Liberty, you can shop, you can like if you want, do a Sex in the City bus tour if you want. Like, it's just like it's something to rethink of in terms of like, if I'm going to move somewhere and pursue a career, I would say if you're thinking like comedy or finance, you don't necessarily need to be in New York City, I think, for really anything at this point, unless you really want to do Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everything's digital now. Everything. And like, it's getting a little bit weird. I mean, I have a video I want to show. I have a list of stuff here, but I don't need to show any of it really. But while we're on the topic of Matt Walsh, have you ever heard of trapped water, Chrissy?
Trapped water?
Yeah.
No.
It's this crazy thing. Okay, well, let's have a look. Do you want to have a look with me? Just quickly. And Matt Walsh covers it because it's a very serious issue. We've got to take it seriously.
Okay.
So let's just see this.
In the modern age, people tend to be very socially conscious. We live in a culture filled with extremely selfless and empathetic individuals who are always looking to get involved in worthwhile social causes. That is, just as long as the cause requires them to expend little to no effort and contribute nothing of value to the world. We love to come together for no reason and rally around nothing to do nothing at all. This is the most popular sort of activism around, and TikTok is the best place to organize these kinds of charitable endeavors. So here's the latest. A new viral TikTok video has called attention to the scourge of quote-unquote trapped water. What is trapped water? Well, here's a user who goes by the name Spread Your Dreams explaining in a video that has been viewed now over 3 million times. And here's what she says.
Okay, I just picked this up. It's a full bottle of water. And I'm on this quest to dump out any water that gets trapped in the plastic, because once it's trapped in these plastic bottles, we now have lost it, basically. So it's really important when you see, hi doggo, when you see water that's discarded, to open it up and dump it out.
Isn't this mental?
Alternately, to make sure that when you're done with water, and that goes for like, juices or sports drinks.
Trapped juice.
You're not going to use it, because if you don't, it's trapped forever, and we've lost that water to our ecosystem. So thanks.
Oh my God.
Isn't that craziness?
I love this. Wait,
there's more.
That the bottles of water are not going to get punctured? Like, where do you think we get garbage juice from in New York City? That's from water that may have been in a bottle or something, and then it gets broken in the trash, and then garbage juice. So
right,
she's worried the water not evaporating or it not being.
She just thinks it's gone forever. She thinks it's trapped forever. The scary shit is there's people that responded and agreed.
So there it is. The new current thing, free the water. If you find a bottle laying around with liquid inside, dump the liquid on the ground. Don't even worry about what the liquid is. Just, dump it on the ground. And if you don't, eventually the earth will run out of water.
Exactly.
What if it's pee?
This is an idea that may sound completely insane, because it is, but it resonated with the folks on TikTok. Here are the top comments on that video. Somebody named Simply Sarah says, "Not me teaching the water cycle today, but never thinking about this." Ken's says, "Trapped water just ruined my day." Rachel Okeki says, "I've thought about this every day since I learned about the water cycle, and this video makes me feel so validated." Another comment says, "We'll now be anxious about trapped water forever."
forever.
my
Another one.
God.
No, seriously, this freaks me out. All water has to go back to the rain cycle.
It has to go back.
Yes, we must facilitate the water's journey back into the rain cycle. That's why I typically, what I will do is I'll bring all of my half-empty water bottles up into the sky in a helicopter, and I empty them directly into a cloud because that is the safest and most environmentally friendly strategy, I think.
He goes on and destroys them with facts, but they don't respond well to those. So it's just
where does it come from? And that's the thing is you don't have to be smart. You just have to be confident in what you're saying, and you can convince people of anything.
millions of people like, and these days everyone's so fucked up on like SSRIs and shit. They don't know what they're thinking. Everyone's
Yes,
just like
water lives matter. Definitely.
I wondered if you had seen, actually, I'll put this back on the screen for a sec because moving on to another thing. What do you think about robots?
Do you know, by the way, talking about Matt Walsh, because I was perusing the Daily Wire for possible gift ideas. Do you know that Matt Walsh has his own line of flannel shirts?
Oh, I didn't, but now that I'm
Let
looking
me see if I
at
can pull this up for you.
it, seems
Logging
like
in. I think this is fascinating. Shop.
I'll pull this down. It
The
looks like he's
Matt
got.
Walsh collection. This is
I
kind
like
of
his
fun.
logo. His
He's
clever
got
logo.
flannels. All right, I'm going to share this. I wonder if I can share this with you. I can.
Yeah, you should
share
be
it.
able to. There we are at the
This
stage.
is iconic. You too can get a Matt Walsh flannel. I don't mind this.
I wonder
Oh,
if they would.
you could do
Actually,
gray and
the
white.
colors are good.
Yeah,
They're good
this is
colors.
red, white, and blue. This is nice without being like, look at me in my red, white, and blue shirt. Navy and orange. Classic. These are all winners. If I were a guy, I'd wear all of these. He looks
The
sad
only
in
thing I
that
worry
one.
about is
Happy
they
in that
look
one.
itchy, like but I bet they're not. I'm certain they're not, but they look like those tartan rugs. Remember we used to call
Wow.
them itchy rugs?
Yeah. $70 seems expensive, but I guess if you can afford it and you really like Matt Walsh. Do you want to unleash your inner alpha male? Do you want to impress friends and family with your rugged charm and manly skills? If you answered yes to any of these, you need this flannel. It's not just a shirt, it's a lifestyle. It's a statement that says you're not afraid of the woke. A shirt that says, I want to talk to him, but screams, don't. Whether you're chopping down a tree, wrestling a bear, fixing a car, or hosting a shit show for the Daily Wire, you'll look great and feel great in this flannel. Laser etched, genuine leather pocket detail. Gray white flannel features, genuine suede pocket detail, cotton polyester flannel blend, classic fit.
That's great. I mean, why not? It is his iconic look. I do like the logo though.
Yeah, great for a Halloween costume. But good for him. I think that's fun.
Great for a Halloween costume, did he say?
Phil, he doesn't like the pocket insignia. Yeah, it's his sort of abstract looking. Look at that. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's
I think it is cool.
if
It's
they
not
were my initials.
ostentatious. It's not like look at the letters. Like, ooh.
Yeah.
Looks like
I
mountains.
mean, Candace Owens has a similar one where it's just simple shapes. It's just
I
it's a
wonder-
semicircle and a circle.
Let's see. Oh, let's see what the Candace Owens collection is like.
Oh yeah, I bet what's she grifting?
Make
Speaking
men
of grifting,
manly
we've got
again.
Grifty. Hey Grifty.
Ooh, look what's in the Candace Owens super bundle. You can get blackout, leftist tears, yes we Candace hat and poster. See, this to me is a weak merch bundle.
Yeah, that's not low effort.
This is she's not really bringing. I want to see a Candace Owens like cocktail dress. I want to see a Candace Owens like studded thong or something. If I could get
Yeah.
autographed hat.
She's very high and pious. She's very she takes she I don't know. She gets on my nerves. She's not dumb. She's clever. But I think she's a hypocrite.
I've heard people say that too. Let's see. What kind of merch does Jordan Peterson have? I hope he's selling those two-tone jackets that he wears. Oh, it's like his classic.
It's horrible.
The lobster tie.
It's hard to look at the jacket.
Yeah. He can pull it off though, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he'll pull anything off. I see Jordan Peterson was someone I discovered just right at the very moment. Like he had less than 100,000 followers on YouTube at the time when I
Wow.
found him. And then it was like literally that was the month when he all exploded.
Wow.
So yeah. But
You-
then he disappeared for a while. I used to be right into it, like right into him. I read like Maps of Meaning and his second book, what's called 12 Rules for Life. And then there's a
Yep.
new one out. That's when I fell off. I haven't read the 12 More Rules. I haven't read that one. Jordan uses pieces covers.
Oh my God. There's a Leftist Tears dog bowl. It's actually on sale. See, this I'm interested in because it's only $12.
She's the ultimate grifter, but I think she drank enough Kool-Aid to believe the grift. Oh, you mean Candace Owens? Yeah. She was rabid leftist until about 30 seconds before she realized the conservatives had more money.
Oh my God.
Well, they do have more money. I wonder why is that?
I heard that she sort of ran a doxing site
Yeah, I've
back
heard
in the
that
day.
too.
Yes, exactly what Carmen's saying.
Yeah. Tree of Logic exposed her as a Democrat for doxing kids, I think, before she became conservative. That sounds exactly right. Yep. So yeah, she's just not a she's not a but I mean it'd be interesting to see what she's grifting in the future. Obviously it's really low effort at the moment. They need to put some more energy into that. Bro, I was watching the Lawrence Southern live stream that he came out of the UNT well, out of the University of Texas and talked pronouns for the first time. Oh yeah, Toronto, University of Toronto, sorry. Yeah. I remember that. And that's when he got surrounded by all those. That was an
Oh,
iconic
that was a
moment.
Lauren Southern live stream? Wow.
I was it I don't know. He had it on his own channel. I remember that much.
Okay.
What's this king shirt? Candace, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I get distracted by the comment. How do you manage the comments? And another thing, how do you Tree of Logic? Tree of Logic will block a lot of people. She is savage on Twitter.
You must have
She
done something
takes no
to deserve
prisoners.
it, Cosmic Show.
Hey.
How do you deal with the chat? You get used to it. You're able to sort of peruse it and not lose your train of thought. Ideally,
'Cause I'm super
you'll get
ADHD.
to a place where you'll bring up comments as they're relevant.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Look at it, don't look at it. You're fine either way.
I'm just sometimes it's really busy and sometimes it's not. But yeah, I want to acknowledge them, because but yeah, what were we talking about? 'Cause this is what happens to me. I get thrown off.
We were
But it
talking about the
doesn't really.
merch. We're talking about the low energy bundle.
That's right. Speaking of which, I've got low energy merch. See, Stateside Safari written on the black hat. There's a camo
Ooh,
one. There is a camo one, which is much better.
I like
But
that. That's very chic.
yeah. And I've got a cool I think it's playing in my bedroom. I think I heard you go, ooh. But there was another video. What do you think about changing topics for a bit? What do you think about robots?
Robots in general.
Yeah, like how do you feel like because things are getting a little bit
I think they're not worth getting like really nervous about ultimately because what do you
I kind of felt that too.
either get into robot programming or just like pray that they don't take over. Because what is the average person really gonna do? Like go work for Boston Dynamics and like pull the plug on the plant, like
Well, speaking of Boston Dynamics, these things are showing up built by them all over neighborhoods. Like I remember seeing these things as prototypes ages ago, but now all of a sudden
Oh, well.
they're everywhere.
We meet again, sir.
Have you seen these guys around before?
I have not seen them around. I have not seen those in New York City. Where is this that he's seeing this?
I don't know where that one is,
You
but
could
there
probably
is
just kick it
another.
over. Like, it wouldn't take very much to just, like, topple that little guy.
Right, but the police are actually
The
hiring
LAPD
them.
is getting a controversial
Oh,
new
LA.
tool that could help keep police officers out of
And New
harm's
York.
way. We're talking about a $280,000 robot dog.
That's
Police
frightening.
officials say that the robot dog named Spot
Can
would be
open your
used in
door.
a limited number of situations by SWAT teams.
But critics say the robot dog could put the
Chrissy's
public
not
at
intimidated.
risk. Samantha Cortese live from Hollywood with more on how the robot will be used. Sam.
I'm pretty sure you can
Micah
still
and
shoot a
ND today.
robot. Like,
Yeah, but what if it's got what if it's like, because I'll show you, if you're not scared of this robot, let me show you this one. This one's
I
from
doubt the robot would be. I don't think that would be legal for the robot to just open a door and start shooting. Just like I don't think it's legal for a cop to just open. Like there has to be something going on that
I know,
warrants
but
that. And
for me, I just see that like, there's like so much room for error. Like this is the King of Bahrain. Whoa, King of Bahrain. This is 3 years ago. This is his robot bodyguard. Isn't this insane?
what is this? Like a Middle Eastern Comic-Con?
It looks kind of like that. No, some sort of like a like electronics forum or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But isn't this mental?
I mean, he can walk, but like, what if you try to fight that guy? Like, what's his agility
there's
like?
footage of that too. It's I mean, he does cute things, like does little like, but here he is in public.
You know what would be the best of both worlds? If you could train the robotic bodyguard to empty all the trapped water.
Exactly. And then this drunk guy comes up to it. Of course he would. Punched him. And then he gets arrested and taken away. So and there's one more I wanted to show because it was funny. It is it this one? Oh, not that one. That one's just creepy. They seem to be popping up everywhere, but this guy was funny.
My
This is in
fucking God,
DC.
you kidding me? Oh my God. Kick my grandma in the fucking ankle, punch my mama in the knee, sucker punch my stepdaddy in the chin, break my little brother nose. What the fuck? Oh my God. Oh my God. And diarrhea.
I just thought his reaction was really funny. But anyway, that's robots popping up all over
How
the
do you
United
feel?
States.
You
How do
seem
I feel
concerned.
about it? I'm concerned about where it's headed because there's a lot of there's a huge push lately to digitize everything, and I know there's a lot of talk about artificial intelligence and stuff, and it gets really boring. It does get really boring, but they're digitizing the dollar. They're digitizing our carbon footprints. Like they're developing technology to individually track, like how much you. So every time you buy something, you will take it like a point system. Every time you fly somewhere, it'll be a point system. And so sooner or later, when they've got like a digital dollar set up and everything, all of these metrics on how much carbon you're using, then all of a sudden it's going to come to a point where, like in a very short amount of time, and I mean the technology is really almost there now, where they can just say, you've eaten too much steak this month, so you cannot, now your bank card won't work anywhere but 5 kilometers from your home, or you won't be able to buy certain
You're in a
shit.
situation where you buy for your whole family. How do they track how much you as an individual are eating? Or they just say you've bought too much for one person. Doesn't matter who you're feeding it to. It's like you're just over the limit.
Right. Well, these are some of the concerns that because a lot of the thing, there's also talk about, have you heard of universal basic income, where the government just provides everyone with a base, like, and so they don't have to work and stuff. Now I know a lot of people are scared of it, but they're going to bring it in as some sort of savior thing and as a convenience, because like obviously we don't want anyone to starve and suffer and stuff like that. But at that same time, they've got all the control over how they spend the money. Like they've trialed in Australia. I guess I'm just a little bit, because I live in Australia and we went through the craziest, most weirdest lockdowns ever. So and we're going cashless. They've already started taking all the ATMs away. There's
Wow.
several banks that don't deal with cash anymore at all, and they've got like this pathway to like I think it's like 2025. There's going to be no or 2026. There's going to be no cash anymore at all. Like
Jesus.
this, like KFC's doesn't accept cash anymore. There's so many places around that are just not accepting it anymore. And so, yeah, it just makes me super nervous. I get really nervous about it because I've seen how, and this is like why I've always loved the United States and everything that the United States sort of, and it's cheesy kind of a little bit. People make fun of me sometimes for it, but it's kind of true. You guys have been the beacon of freedom and hope for all of us Westerners since forever. And if it falls and crumbles, it's like there's no one else. And like we don't have the freedom of speech like you guys have. The people here don't have that spirit within them that they believe in their sovereignty, their right to be free, their right to speak freely. People here are really super trusting of their government, and I guess
Wow.
I mean they've had a lot of reason to be trusting because the government was, apparently good to them for a long time until they weren't anymore.
Yeah.
And we just don't have the Bill of Rights, and like you do, it's a different thing. So I guess it's sort of you picking up on a bit of paranoia, I guess.
Yeah. Have you tried to see if in the meantime, like, can you go through your day to day by only patroning places that still take cash? Is that even possible for you right now?
I mean, I do it as much as possible, yeah. But like, there is so much stuff that is not possible to do that with. Obviously, anything that you do online is not going to take any cash, and there's so much more stuff that's just been pushed to like you can only pay us online now. Like you used to be able to go and pay all of your. I don't know if you can still do this, but everyone used to go to the post office and pay all of their bills, and they just
Oh,
paid them
right.
all there. But now it's like you have to have the app to the service and you have to do it all directly. It's just, and it's a mess. I don't
It is
like
a mess.
this over technology. What's the word? Technologized new world. Is that a word? You know what I
Digitized?
mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Digitized. Yeah.
And I like technologized.
In the event of a situation, I'm going to start a local black market. But what are you gonna? How are you going to use? What are you going to use for like fungible trade? You must
Bitcoin?
keep.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Bitcoin, they're trying to kill that with them. They're
Right.
bringing their own government ones. And it's all happening. Like I know it sounds like foreign talk, but it's like it is happening. That I've got plenty of videos and stuff in like from other episodes where I never went into them because we ran out of time. Speaking of which, we're coming up to like an hour and a half soon. I shouldn't hog you for too much longer because I need to let you go because you're very busy and stuff. But yeah, like there is a lot of scary things coming on along the horizon. It's the World Economic Forum is like a big buzzword that you're hearing a lot now. But it really is. It's not just them. There's like Council of Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission. There's a bunch of them, but the World Economic Forum is really the one that's shaping this great reset that we're all heading to. So
Mhm.
I know I got a little bit serious for a second on this
Serious is
episode. That's
good though.
funny because it's true, but like it's because generally that's kind of more what I go into on my episodes. I go into sort of like how's the world going crazy and what's politically moving here and stuff. I don't know. I'm not super smart on all of it, but I find it very interesting. I
It
find it
is.
kind of frightening. I try not to get too overwhelmed by it though, because you get lost in that kind of. You lose where you're going if you do that. You can still pay most bills with cash at Walmart in the States. Yeah, I mean, getting rid of cash in the States is going to be a lot harder. Anything like that's going to be a lot harder in the United States, and that's why I love it there. But
Do you have any plans to move here?
I would see. I've had after I got the yes. I don't have any solid concrete plans right now. However, it's something that I definitely want to do. I did enter the green card lottery with the State Department. I do that kind of every year because they pick like 50,000, I think, per year applicants. Not they don't approve 50,000, but they pick 50,000. They shortlist people. So I get to check the status of that in May, but that's just a long shot. There's a thing called a H-1B visa where I could come over there and work, but it's it's probably about a $50,000 thing to get sorted. And I have some health issues that I need to get fixed before I come over there because I can't afford the healthcare over there. Because it's just I'm on a bunch of stuff that I need to come off because I had a bunch of complications from the COVID jabs, and
Okay.
it messed my heart up. And I'm still on a bunch of medication for that. So I mean, once I am getting better. Like it's just taken a long time. But there is certainly light at the end of the tunnel there. So once I'm clear of all my health stuff, then I'm more seriously plan for moving towards the state. Because like I could plan it all now, but I'd have to come straight back the moment I'd ended up in hospital with
Oh,
chest pains. You know what I mean?
geez.
Like
Okay.
I need to, because I can't afford $1 million hospital bill, which like I don't know if it'd be that much, but it'll be significantly more. It'd ruin my life. You know what I mean? It'd be that amount of debt.
I
So
mean,
I
I
have
guess
to
you could
really.
try and get some sort of a corporate day job with health insurance, and then you'd be set health insurance wise.
Yeah. So how does it work? Because your employer usually pays the insurance
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah, just any day job, any like regular job can get
But
health
say, what if you
insurance.
went in and said, "I've got a pre-existing heart
They
problem."
cannot not hire you for a job because of a medical issue. In fact, they wouldn't even be allowed to ask you that on an interview. It would just be like if you're going for an assistant job or whatever, it'd be like, "Oh, do you have these skills? Do you know
Hmm.
Microsoft Word? Can you do calendaring?" I've been on a million job interviews. They never ask you about your health.
Yeah, because they would go in and if I went in on a H-1B, I'm in design, like I'm a draftsman. I work in architecture and structures and stuff. So I mean, it would be a corporate job.
Yeah,
So
you could
that
totally you have skills. You could get a job and then you
yeah,
just in a month you get whatever all your health insurance shit kicks in, sometimes less than that. And then you just go to the doctor and live your life.
yeah, something to think
And then
about.
it's
I will certainly
affordable.
think about that.
It's only not
Yeah,
they scare people outside of the
yeah,
US by this, "Oh, the health insurance sucks." And I've also been for a couple years with no health insurance. I mean, I don't have any pre-existing stuff, but it's like I've spent years of my life with zero health insurance and it's fine. It's like I'll pay, you pay out of pocket once or twice a year for a dentist. Sometimes it works out to you spend less not having insurance than you do being on insurance because there have been jobs where they take like I don't know, you pay into it maybe a couple $100, like they take it out of your paycheck every month. And then there's years where I don't have health insurance and it's like, oh, I just don't really go to the doctor and then I'm fine. And then you end up spending way less. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, the other thing is people say, "Oh, it's everything. Don't come now. Everything's so expensive," but they sort of forget that Australia is so insanely expensive. Like, um, people have said, don't go to Florida because it's too expensive. But then I hear other people saying, not compared to Sydney, which is where
mm,
I am, which is
Sydney's probably
insanely,
more expensive
yeah,
than Florida. And
yeah.
like
So
just don't like live in like a less popular city or town. There's ways around it.
yeah,
I also lived in New York City for years, had roommates from Craigslist, shared apartments, like, lived on the cheap, you can make it work.
yeah. I mean, I've lived in backpackers and done all sorts of stuff. I am kind of getting old for doing that now. I'm a bit over it, but I could do it again. I could easily do it again. I'm not too old for it,
It's just
but
nerve-wracking because you don't know what you're getting into. It's like it's just the not knowing, which is scary, but
yeah, yeah. But it's also exciting. It's certainly something. If I moved again, because I've moved all over Australia. Um, I'm originally from the other side, and that's where I don't have any family over here or anything. But it was if I was gonna move again, I would leave the country and come to America. I
I
don't
think
think I would.
start chatting up, like, seeing if you can join Facebook groups, like, If you're interested in moving to Orlando, Florida, join a Facebook group. Join
I would
Texas
totally go to
Facebook, and then you
Orlando.
can talk to people about like what neighborhoods are good, what neighborhoods are
Yeah.
expensive versus
Or
kind of
Texas.
affordable.
Texas is
Yeah,
also really seems fun to me as well.
yeah,
Any of those freedom-minded states.
yeah.
Like,
Just start like making, and you probably know people like that you just through streaming and Twitter,
yeah.
that you can message and ask these questions to, and I would say Facebook groups are still good for that sort of thing.
They banned me off Facebook because I'm a hate criminal. Like, I didn't even know it happened. I just sent an email, and I didn't. They sent it to a dead address that I don't use anymore. So yeah. But anyway, I will.
I don't know,
I'll
maybe
let you
Reddit,
go.
maybe Discord. Like there's ways you can find forums that talk about affordable neighborhoods in the States.
Yeah, I mean, there's 350 million people there. I'm sure I could strike the right conversation with one of them. Like, it's crazy how many there are of you guys compared to us. There's only 26 million Australians. We could all fit in like LA.
Wow. That's crazy to
Um,
think about.
but yeah, I thank you very, very, very much for coming on to my show.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it very much for you taking this time out of your schedule, and it's been a joy to have you. And thank you for inspiring me to do this in the first place. I know you're
Look
very
at my
busy, and
nails.
you're
Look at my nails.
wow, that's very lovely. Where'd you get them? Have they got gels on them?
Yeah, it's a
Or did you
gel.
do them yourself?
It's
What?
no, I could do it myself, but I can't gel myself. So like the gel just lasts for like several weeks, whereas like if it's not gel, it's gonna start chipping like in a couple of days. It's got sparkles.
Oh, okay. So and then what do you have? Do they melt the gel hot?
It's just regular nail polish, but it's considered like gel nail polish. So you do a top coat, you put it under this little like UV light thing that goes over your
Lamp thing.
hand. Lamp. Top coat, lamp. First coat of color, lamp. Second coat of color, lamp. For me, it was like the sparkles, lamp. Then it was top coat again, lamp. And then they put lotion on your hands, and then they do a little bit of actually, they put nail polish remover at the end to kind of get the lotion off the nail part, and then ta-da!
Wow. Yeah. See, I've never got into fashion and stuff like that, but I'm not that kind of guy.
It's too
But
masculine for that. Yeah.
but I thank you very much for coming on, and it would be lovely to have you again sometime.
Of course.
And I don't have an outro, but where can people find you? I'm pretty sure everyone knows where people can find you.
You know what I
But
think you should do is just repeat the title of the episode. And this is Chrissie Mayr. It's funny because it's true. Find me. Yes, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. I do a show
yes,
called Simpcast on my YouTube channel every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I do a show on Compound Media, compoundmedia.com, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern called The Wet Spot, where I have comedians and adult film stars on typically. And then here on my YouTube channel, I'll do one-on-one interviews. And that's also where I do Simpcast. And then every Friday, you can see me at Nerdrotic's YouTube channel on a show called Friday Night Tights. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern. And for stand-up comedy, I'll be in New York City December 27th doing my friend Gino Bisconti's birthday show. That's at Stand Up New York. And then you can see me in San Diego headlining the Mic Drop Comedy Club January 5th and 6th. The lovely Lila Hart will be joining me for those shows.
awesome.
Then Thursday, January 25th, I'll be back in Dallas headlining Hyenas Comedy Club out there. And yeah, if you're going to the Turning Point USA America Fest, AmFest, I'll be there next weekend.
That's awesome to hear that. You've been
Pretty
invited
crazy.
there.
I'm going to be live streaming. I'm going to be just trying not to get thrown out, I guess, is the goal.
You'll be great. It'll be great. Well, it was wonderful to have you. I
Thank
don't
you,
have an
Daniel.
outro.
You're delightful. You don't need an outro. Just be like, so long. I don't know.
So long.
Suckers.
This is all right. I'll end the stream.